Today's alumni career story is Blake Goldring, who is chairman and chief executive of one of Canada's largest investment managers, but also a supporter and board member of many Canadian and international organisations, including formerly INSEAD. So welcome, Mr. Goldring. You came to INSEAD in 1982. What were your plans when you were leaving?
When I graduated from INSEAD, it was a very tough time in the markets. There was a period where there was very high inflation. Interest rates at the time were about 19%. In France, the government, a socialist government, had been elected with François Mitterrand, and things were challenging. However, I was delighted to receive 6 job offers, and they were all in different areas. Everything from being a spot oil trader to jobs in banks to opportunities in cosmetic firms. One great one was the opportunity for a large firm to be in Scandinavia with cosmetics, and that really appealed to me, I must say. However, speaking with my father, he said, well, going to one of the bank opportunities might be a better route because, in life you always have to market your ideas. You always have to talk about ideas. You have to sell concepts or products, what have you. But the fundamental analysis which you get and the discipline and rigor that you can achieve in a bank, it would be something that would always hold you in good stead. And I found that to be excellent advice, and that's exactly what I did.
And finance is the family business also?
That's correct. My father had started one of the first mutual funds in Canada. In fact, it was the first mutual fund investing in the United States equity markets, and it was called American Growth Fund. And that was founded back in 1957. So it was, those days, again, from a Canadian perspective, quite international, even though it was just investing in the United States. And he was with that firm and grew it, listed it in 1967. And we had about, back at the time of graduation from INSEAD, it was probably about $2 billion in size.
So you joined a Canadian investment bank, and then 5 years later you joined the family firm.
It was never preordained that I would join a family company. And in fact, in retrospect, I think it was a very good thing to spend 5 years outside of the family business. I joined the company in 1987 at a time when there was the first, the big stock market crash. And, and candidly, it was a real concern that, would there be a company after a crash like that? And, it was an incredible period, very, very stressful. But in fact, that is exactly the time you want to join any industry or a company when there is a stressful period, because it means you can really enjoy things as time goes on and things get better.
What kind of people succeed at investment management?
Well, I always believed in, when I look at investment professionals, they have to be curious people. They have to be intellectually very sharp, but questioning. They have to have lots of a very open mind. And in fact, to have a good numerical understanding, they've got to be strong from a financial perspective and from an analytic perspective, but foremost, they've got to have a sense of curiosity. I would also add that, there's got to be a sense of real strong conviction. Somebody's got to be very confident that when they make a call, that it's the right one and it's reasoned through in a good way. Clearly to have a bit of backbone, because clearly markets don't necessarily, over a cycle, there can be reversions market hiccups, speed bumps, if you will, and that's where it really takes an individual to really have the sang-froid to really push through and have the conviction that what he or she is doing is absolutely the right thing.
As well as being AGF chairman and CEO, you do a lot of philanthropy. You sit on the boards of a lot of other organisations. How do you manage to combine those worlds?
Well, I've always believed in giving back to society. That I think I've been incredibly blessed. I came to INSEAD, great education. I have a family that has always been, I'd say, very giving. So there was always a culture, if you will, of doing and giving back to society. And as I found, clearly having a combination of some time, some money, and then some smarts to where I could actually contribute. So the various organizations that I've been involved with, I like to take a look at environment. So I've been on the board of WWF, and the great work they had done there. And I was on there for almost 10 years. The Canadian Film Centre, a very creative organization. They talk about new media and training the next generation of leaders in the new media. The C.D. Howe Institute, which is the premier think tank in Canada on economic policy. Fascinating. It's right in the sweet spot of my business. I glean lots of great insights into what some leaders are thinking and policymakers are thinking about. But at the same time, I run the investment committee for the C.D. Howe. And on it goes. I'll often take the investment committee role. And it's one which is not a particularly stressful role for me. And, so I enjoy doing that. On other charities, for instance, Canada Company, which is a link between the military and business leaders. It's a charity that I started back in 2006. Again, being very focused on making sure that there is that support from the broader community to our military. And I think that the real basic thesis here is that for me to go and build my business and have my kids go to school and for people to go about living their lives, we need a safe, stable, secure environment. And without it, all bets are off. Accordingly, we need to go and give support to those individuals who are ready to put it all on the line for us.
You've been CEO of a financial firm during a period of incredible stress, but you don't look stressed, you look quite relaxed. How do you manage that stress? How do you manage your stress?
In the face of, say, a market meltdown, where markets have fallen, it's not necessarily going to be a case where you single-handedly, your organization will tell a policymaker in Europe or in the United States to make a different decision that will make the world better. So you've got to know that you can't push, as they say, water back up Niagara Falls. It comes off, and there are moments where you've got to say, okay, this is happening, and that's the way it is, and now we're going to have to make the best of it. And so being able to be flexible, maintaining that balance, I think is very important.